You won't believe what my boss did to me on a business trip. My name is Ethan Parker, and if you had asked me a few months ago what I thought of my boss, I would have given you the most average answer in the world. Daniel Mitchell was the kind of man who walked into a room and made everyone sit up straighter. He wasn't the type to joke around at the water cooler, but he wasn't cruel either. Professional. Sharp. A man with a reputation for closing impossible deals. To me, he was untouchable. I was just one of the mid-level managers in his department, grateful for the opportunity to learn from him. Never in a million years did I imagine that one business trip with him would change the course of my career and my life. It started on a grey Monday morning in New York. Daniel called me into his office, the way teachers call students to the front of the class. I walked in, clutching my notebook, trying not to let the nerves show. He didn't waste time with pleasantries. "Ethan, I need you to come with me to Chicago this week. Big client. High stakes. I think you're ready to be in the room for this one." My stomach dropped. For years, I'd been grinding away at spreadsheets and endless presentations, hoping someone would notice me. And suddenly, my boss himself was inviting me to sit in on $1 million deal. I nodded so fast my neck hurt. "Yes, of course, sir. Thank you for the opportunity." By Wednesday morning, I was standing at LaGuardia Airport with a suitcase and a heart racing faster than the planes taking off outside. Daniel showed up looking effortlessly calm, his tailored suit untouched by the chaos of travel. He gave me a short nod. "You'll sit next to me on the plane. We've got work to do." That set the tone for the trip. While most people used flights to nap or watch movies, Daniel turned our row into a mobile office. Laptops open, notes flying back and forth, corrections scribbled in margins. He quizzed me like a coach preparing his player for the championship game. And I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. But as the hours passed, little things started to feel off. Daniel wasn't just pushing me hard, he was watching me. Not in a creepy way, but in an evaluating way, like he was testing more than just my knowledge of market strategies. At one point, he asked me a question that had nothing to do with work. "Tell me, Ethan, if I handed you this deal tomorrow and told you to run it alone, do you think you'd succeed?" I froze. Was this a trick? Was I supposed to say yes confidently, or admit I wasn't ready? I went with honesty. I'd give it everything I have, but I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be nervous. For the first time, Daniel smiled, a small, knowing smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Good. Nervous means you care." Then he leaned back and closed his laptop, as if that answer had been more important than the financial projections we'd been rehearsing. Chicago greeted us with a blast of wind that nearly knocked my suitcase over. The company had booked us into a sleek downtown hotel, the kind where the lobby smelled like polished wood and ambition. I expected we'd each check into our rooms, take some time to breathe, maybe grab dinner separately. But Daniel had other plans. "Drop your bag, meet me in the conference lounge in 15 minutes. We need to run through tomorrow again." I did as told. When I arrived, he was already there, sleeves rolled up, tie loosened, papers spread across the table. And here's where things started to get strange. Instead of reviewing numbers, he started asking me questions about my life. Where I grew up. Why I chose this career. What kept me up at night. It felt more like an interrogation than small talk, but somehow, I found myself answering. Maybe it was the way he looked at me, intense, unblinking, as if he already knew the answers and just wanted to see if I'd be honest. By the time midnight rolled around, I realized we hadn't eaten dinner, and I was running on nerves and coffee. "Go get some rest," Daniel finally said. "Tomorrow's the real test." I stumbled back to my room, but sleep didn't come easy. My mind replayed every question he asked. Why did he care about my fears? Why did it feel like this trip was about more than a business deal? The next day was chaos. The client was tougher than expected, throwing curveball questions left and right. I did my best to keep up, sliding Daniel the data he needed, whispering suggestions when I caught something he missed. At one point, the client turned directly to me. "And what do you think, Ethan? Would your company really deliver on this promise?" My heart nearly exploded out of my chest. I glanced at Daniel, expecting him to cut in. But he didn't. He just sat back, watching, testing me. And so, I spoke. Somehow, my words came out steady, confident. I outlined a strategy, backed it up with numbers, and even cracked a small joke that made the client laugh. By the end of the meeting, the deal wasn't closed, but the client seemed genuinely impressed. And Daniel looked at me like I'd just passed an exam I didn't know I was taking. When we got back to the hotel, he finally said the words that sent shivers down my spine. "You did more than I expected today. And now, Ethan, I need to tell you the real reason I brought you here."